Surprise! Welcome to Kerbal Space Program. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of this before. It's a really fun game. Well, at least for me. It was designed by, or it is being under development. I don't know, I gotta change the volume. It's a bit loud. I think turn music down to maybe 50? Okay. So it didn't really seem to do anything. Settings. Hold on. Or is it under different supply? About no, I'll just put that back to 80. Okay, I'll just lower my my volume. You know, like right here. Okay. So it is under development by Squad, a team based in Mexico City, I believe. Mexico, of course. It's a aerospace simulation game. It's quite interesting. You make your own rockets or planes, and then you fly them. You can travel to different places on the planet, or different satellites, or moons, or planets, or whatever. It's still in development. It's only, as you can see in the bottom right corner, it's only in development version 0.21.1.276. So there's still quite a few updates, probably at least twice as many as there are right now, until it's done development. But it's a very interesting game. So start a new not really campaign, but I'll start a new game. It's currently only in sandbox mode. When it comes out with campaign or career mode, I will be ending my sandbox mode and beginning career mode. And so I'll name this films. And you can choose a flag. I believe you can import images as flags. But for now, I think I'll just choose I don't know, maybe retro. That's pretty cool. Begin. So, not really ironic, but more just coincidental, is in California, you can get really good Coca-Cola. It's Mexican. It's the Mexican style, because Coca-Cola makes different style of its product for different countries. And Mexican Coca-Cola is basically throwback. It's just sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. It's really good. In fact, I'm drinking it right now. If you've never had it before, or you've rarely had it before, you've been like quite a while without having it, then it tastes completely different than normal Coca-Cola. So there's currently 4 buildings. This 5th one over here, if you can see my cursor, yeah, you probably, yeah. So this 5th one over here doesn't really do anything at the moment that I know of. There's a launch pad, a runway, and then there's a space plane hangar, vehicle assembly building, astronaut complex, and tracking station. So what do you start with first? Planes, usually then rockets. So I guess we can start with planes. Episode 1, although rockets are what were added to the game first. I haven't been in the space plane hangar since they updated its look. It's really nice. All the trucks and stuff, it's really cool. I have my graphics settings on very low right now. because it doesn't run smoothly at all. It's not, and I apologize if during the video it doesn't run very smoothly, but there's nothing I can really do to help it. It's already at the lowest it can be. So you have all your cockpits here. You have all 15 of them. Some of them are probes, I believe. These 7 are probes, and the other 8 are command. Yeah, they are. This one's also command, but that's not really. That's the external command seat. Now you can anything that's brighter, like these ones are all shaded out because you can't begin your rocket with them. Anything that is shaded in, you like, it's bright enough. You can begin with. So I could begin with this, but I can't begin. Like I could begin with this tail connector, but I can't begin with a radial decoupler. I usually just call them decouplers. And then I don't call stack decouplers stack decouplers. I usually call them horizontal decouplers. And sometimes I call radial decouplers vertical decouplers. But I'll try and say radial and stack appropriately. So I'll begin with the basic command pod. This is generally accepted as the basic. Although this is the original artwork. This one's the original like size. So I'm gonna use. Well, I was thinking I might use. Ooh. Sorry, I'm mesmerized by these, like designs. Like you can see, wing, thruster, air. That's really cool. Okay, sorry. I should probably start with a airplane cockpit. It looks really cool. So airplanes, you usually don't have a stack decoupler where the cockpit is. You usually just go straight to the tank. Although I'm going to be. Ooh, they changed the names of quite a few of these. Okay, so I will be using the inline advanced stabilizer. It used to be known as the SAS or advanced SAS, but I guess it's cooler. I don't know. It looks really cool. Although all these graphics are really low. Like you can't see the circuit board. You can't see very straight lines on here. But there are there. I just don't have the graphics on high enough for them. So you generally want to go with your fuselage. You don't want a structural one. You want there are structural fuselages right over here. Don't carry anything, so they're much lighter. But I still feel like they're too much of a waste of space. So what you use jet fuel for is they don't have any oxidizer in them. So with oxidizer burns your fuel because in a combustion reaction is usually some what's the word? Ooh. I gotta relearn quite a few of my chemistry vocabulary. Not polysaccharide. Polysaccharide is only for sugar. It's poly something. Whoa, that truck is like doing donuts. Okay, so I forgot what it's for, but methane, CH4, is the mono whatever. I want to say monosaccharide, but no, that's for sugar. It's mono something, meaning the basic empirical formula for that range of compounds. And then, so you have methane, and there's also octane, ethane, and propane. These are just a few of them. Propane is 8. No, octane is 8 of 8 methane, like in a strand, whatever. Propane, I believe, is 6, and ethane, I believe, is 4. methane molecules together. So when in a chemical reaction you have methane, ethane, propane, octane, etc. burning, so the reactants are methane, I'll just say methane, and oxygen, and that's a combustion reaction. So with heat, it creates heat, and the products of that are carbon dioxide and uh, water. Although the water is given off as a vapor, which is why when you see jets go by, they are they leave a trail of cloud or water vapor, really, that turns into a cloud, and then you can see it, but you can't see the carbon dioxide because it won't condense to a cloud in there. It'll just stay as a gas. But so jet or rocket fuel has oxidizer in it, so it because in space there's no oxygen to burn it, so you have to add oxygen to it, which is the oxidizer. So you can see under my resources tab on this fuel tank, which is a rocket fuel. But under jet fuel, there's no oxidizer because there's oxygen in the atmosphere. But if you're moving fast enough, the oxygen might not be able to go into your nozzle and then come out again as you're using your jet fuel. So you have to use intake valves, which is here. So ram air intakes, radial air intakes, circular intakes, and nasals. And they help, or they take in oxygen and use that instead of having to have extra weight in oxidizer. So jet fuel is much, much lighter, as here it's got a dry mass of only 0.35, whereas here it is about 10 times more, and it doesn't have about 10 times the dry mass. But that's because it's just really awkward. Here, I'll use this one. So the jet fuel can fit into a smaller space, I guess. You get twice as much jet fuel. And jet fuel weighs more than oxidizer, so the more you can fit in there, the heavier it is. So they can sometimes be heavier. So after you have your fuselages, your stability system, and your cockpit, of course, I've kind of gone on a rant. Under your propulsion, there's 7 tabs. There's pods, which are your command pods, propulsion, which is like your fuel and your engines, your control, which is just like your stability systems, your RCS, thrusters, etc. Structural, which is just like to hold it in place or to just for aesthetics, etc. Aerodynamic, which provide lift and sometimes drag. Then there's your utility, which you use when you're like batteries, for example, to run probes, and landing gear for when you're landing, etc. And lights for when it's dark, etc. And then science, which these are just your instruments to measure stuff. You only can measure it with your accelerometer, barometer, gravioli detector, they call it, which isn't its real name, and thermometer. I believe it's called a, not sure what it's called. It just measures it. I don't know. I think it's I actually have no clue what it's called. And then your 2 communication things in the game don't currently work, as far as I'm aware of. Although they do intend on making them work eventually. So, back to propulsion. I think once I make this plane, I'll fly it just for a second, and then I'll end it. So in your propulsion, I'm going to use these. If you look at your... I won't tell you anything really about the strengths and stuff yet, but I'm going to use uh, this engine, the basic jet engine, which you should usually use when you're starting out with planes. And then an aerodynamic, I'll probably get a delta wing. You can turn on a symmetry mode, which puts it on both sides. There's also a snap to angles, which helps you get them a bit more like uniform, kind of. It's more helpful really when uh, in rockets in the vehicle assembly building. So we got the wings, we have engine, we have uh, fuel, stability system. Now we need our wheels, which will be under utility. Right. Next page. Forgot that there's a second page. So these wheels are for rovers, but these are for airplanes, or space planes, etc. So I think I'm gonna make a tripod, and I'll do that, and I'll do another right here. I'll put it on no symmetry though, because I'm gonna put it in the center. And you see how far back the wheel is? I don't want that far back because then it might lean forward. So you can use the WASD, Q, and ET keys to move it around. So I can reverse it like that. Then I can put it under here just to make it even a bit closer up. Actually, I'm going to make that a bit closer. Right there. And last but not least, I need my air intakes. So I think I'll go with, because I don't have any, I can't put a radial or a ram on the front because my cockpit's right there. So I'm going to have to use radial. And I think I'm going to use them underneath. I'm going to use two. I don't really need to, but I'm going to use two. I think, yeah, okay, so right there. It's kind of front facing. I think it needs to be flipped back. Okay. Looks kind of okay. I don't know. I think I'll make it. Just want one. If I have one, just put it right there. No, I'll make two, and I'll actually put it on top, just so you can see it, I guess. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good. And I'll name it... What should I name our rocket? Maybe... avionics... something, dark side. No, avionics. I'm awful at names. Let's see. Let's call it the avionics one, I guess. And launch. I should put a space there. And launch. So I think I only have time to do really one launch, which will probably not be so good. And then from there, I think I'll end the episode. See you guys next time in Minecraft, and then in a week, Kerbal Space Program. So when your stage light is green, that means that you're okay to go. Your staging here. There's no really staging in a plane. You don't have to deal with that. I am moving a little bit, but I don't mind that. So here's your artificial horizon or gyro ball. It shows you what direction you're facing. I'll explain it more in next episode. Next episode I think will be the tutorial. Not really tutorial, but like explanation of all this stuff. Right now it's just really the demonstration of what you can do. Here's your pilot. If I hold down shift, you see your throttle increases. I think I'll begin my plane at around 60% right there. If I hold B, my brakes will go on, or I can just click this for parking brake. And T for your SAS, which I will have on. R for your RCS, which I'll explain later. You can press F. You can hold F to hold F to have it on, or if you have it already on, hold F to turn it off for a little bit. So I'll have it on, pressing T. A is your yaw. A and D are your yaw. A is yaw to the left. D is yaw to the right. Q is roll to the left. E is roll to the right. W is pitch forward, like, pitch putting your nose down. And S is pitch up, so bringing your nose up. So it's kind of inverse, I guess, with WS. Although when you're flying a rocket, you should have inverse vertical controls. Or when you're flying a plane, you should. Because when you're flying a plane, it needs to feel natural, and inverse is actually natural for your brain. So I'll turn off the parking brake, and when you press spacebar, it'll begin this stage, and then next it will trigger the next stage, and there's only one stage. So this will begin the rocket, getting now. Here you can see your surface speed, and eventually after you get to an elevation around 35,000 meters, it'll show you your orbital speed. I'll turn off SAS, and ooh, boom, I exploded, because I think I was going too fast, too unstable. So I'll go back to the Space Center. I don't know where I did Space Center. I should have gone. You can go straight to this space plane hangar. I should have gone there. Space plane hangar. Okay, I'll do one more attempt after I fix this, and then I think I'll have to be done. So I think the issue was my wheels were too close together. To turn them back on symmetry, I'm going to bring the wheels out wider like that. It should definitely help going straight easier. And I think I'll just start with a lower speed. You hear that nice jazz music while you're building your rocket or space plane. And we have the OK to go. Turn my throttle up to 30% and begin. Well, actually I have my SAS off this time. Here's your resources, your electric charge, which is basically the pre-built battery into your cockpit, plus any batteries that you add, plus any electricity you're making with, like, ooh, gotta pick up. Oh, that was horrible. I think maybe I'll give myself bigger wings. So let's try that one more time. And I think I'm also going to do this. That might help too, having 4 wheels. So to make bigger wings, I can take these delta wings off, just put them to the side. And under aerodynamic, there's these wing connectors. They also, most things here can be able to transfer fuel, and it will say fuel cross feed capable. It says right down at the bottom. Which means that if you put a fuel tank here, it will go to the engine there as long as it can, like, connect that way. So this just increases your wingspan. Right here, here's your center of mass, your center of lift, and your center of thrust. And you want your center of lift to be right in the center of your center of mass. So I think I should move this So when I move that back, it goes back. If I move that forward, it goes forward. So if I did this, and then right here, I added... Oh, I know what else I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting ailerons. How could I? So let me move this back to right there. And I'll add my ailerons. Ailerons are just help you control movement. Like, because you can't bend your wings. You have to bend the flaps, the ailerons that are on them. Although flaps are usually in the front here. Ailerons are in the back. So, there you go. So I guess that was good. I could do... What? That or whatever. Can't get to... Okay. So I think... Do that. Or I could move these onto... No, I'll just put... Like, I could put... No, I'll just put them back on here. Okay. So, center lift is way in the back. And the way that you can fix that is by putting wings on, like... For example, I'll fix it by putting wings on the... command module. So I can move these back and forward to move the center of lift to the center mass, and I'll do that. So I think I'm going to have to end this right after this attempted flight. Now, I didn't put any ailerons on the front wings, which kind of gives less stability in the front and more stability in the back. So it's kind of like braking, kind of like, I don't know. It's sometimes helpful. But so, begin, 30% throttle. I forget what it's like, but it's like only using the back wheels of your car to drive. So, getting up to 100 meters per second, and then I can get a lift off probably at around there. And so this is only at 30% throttle, and I can lift off. Turn on my stability system, which locks usually my position, or at least my advanced SAS, I'm going to call it, will control my ailerons, anything that can change my direction. So my ailerons and my gimbal in my engine, which means that it can like pivot. I can press G or just press right here to remove my gears, kind of like an airplane does. Like, let's put some out there. And then I can go E, can turn, this is roll, this is pitch, this is yaw. This is really good at SAS, because it's not even really an SAS anymore. Now it's more like an avionics package. The avionics package before, basically, it goes on your nose cone. It is a nose cone, and it allows you to control it, but it's still while keeping the SAS on. SAS, Stability Augmentation System. But now this is much better. I like it a lot more. So when you're a pilot and you're making a turn, you could do that, but then you still have a lot of velocity going this way. See, as you see here, I'm facing this way, but I'm still going that way. So to counteract that, because you're just adding velocity, you're not subtracting any from going this way. So to counteract that, you roll, and then you change your pitch, and that will stop it from going this way, and it's like basically pushing against a wall of air. So like if you're heading towards a wall, and then you push off the wall, then you're going the other direction. It's basically what this is doing, but instead of a wall, it's air. So I'm going to fly back over here, and I'm going to open up my gear. I'm not increasing my throttle above 30, because this engine is really good when you're in low atmosphere. I can check my flow of air, as I can also see here my total flow rate and my liquid fuel here. I'm only at 295 out of 300, which I've only used 4 now units of fuel in quite a while. So to make this turn, I'm gonna want to go back here. I'm gonna want to turn down my throttle. I'm gonna want to turn. I probably won't make this because I'm really bad at it, but I'm gonna bring it down. Bring it down. And bring it up, bring it up. Ooh. This is pretty cool. Bring it down a little. Cut my engine with X, or I can just hold down Control to lower my engine. And right now my brakes are off. If I tap my brakes a little, it kind of slows me down. If I hold down my brakes, I might kind of do a it's the opposite of a wheelie. I think it's like I forget what it's called. But not. My engine is off, but it is still making noise. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I'm at a stop. I'm not very centered, but I survived. Looks like Bill is kind of relieved. I could turn on my parking brakes. I could exit the vehicle right now, but I'll demonstrate that next time. But I guess I will see you. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay, I guess so I'm going to end the flight. Pretty center. Didn't really seem like I was at the end of the flight. I don't know. Maybe it did end it, did it? I don't know. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.